Well, earlier today you saw on the Full View the ANC's national spokesperson Pule Mabe saying they were heartened by the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Gwede Mantashe's statement that he hadn't bribed two journalists and said that to do so would be criminal and unethical. Mantashe was quoted by the Sunday World over the weekend as saying that he had given two journalists 70,000 rand to hide a story that he had had a relationship with a younger woman. The Economic Freedom Fighters, however, says it wants Mantashe to step down. On the line now is the Economic Freedom Fighters national spokesperson, Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Dr. Ndlozi, good evening to you. What's your reaction to these claims against Minister Mantashe?
Well, good evening, and good evening to the viewers at home. As we've indicated in our statement, we have no reason to doubt. In fact, we have done our background check sufficiently, and we believe that the story is based on credible information, that indeed Mr. Mantashe said those things that he was quoted as saying on the Sunday World. And we obviously therefore call on him to step down. You can't have ministers who are bribing journalists. That is not different to the ways in which the apartheid regime infiltrated newsrooms to try and tell fake stories, but also to buy journalists in favor of its propaganda. It is corrupt, it is criminal. A man who is prepared to bribe journalists is a man that is being bribed himself. And therefore we think that he must step down, both as a member of parliament as well as a minister, because he has obviously confessed to a crime.
There's been no finding against him as yet, as far as I'm aware. Do you think he should step down even though there's no finding against him in any court or any other forum that I'm aware of?
Because we believe that it's a confession. You don't need a court when a person confesses that they have paid 70,000 rand to bribe somebody. It's a confession, and that is why the Sunday World has already put it to him that if he is now capitulating, they are challenging then that he must go to court. We believe the Sunday World, and we have called on the Sunday World as well, at least in relation as well to their own credibility and the credibility of the media in general, that they must release these recordings. We've always warned as the EFF about journalists who are being bribed, journalists who take money to push one political agenda against the other. And this is such a perfect case. And it's important for all of us to call both on Sunday World to release the recordings of Mantashe on one hand, but also for Mantashe to release the names of those journalists so that there's proper cleansing that takes place.
Dr. Ndlozi, if it is the case that he should step down with no finding against him, and you say he should step down as a Member of Parliament, should Members of Parliament resign if they're accused of wrongdoing? And I say this specifically in relation to your leader, Julius Malema, your Deputy Leader, Floyd Shivambu, both been accused of spending money that originally came from the VBS Bank. Should they not step down as well in that case?
Well, as I said, Mantashe has confessed in this case. We have a confession in inverted commas at the Sunday World. And the case you are raising in relation to VBS, there are no findings. There's never been a confession, one. And by the way, there's never been a court or any report that said there was money stolen by the EFF or any of its leadership in VBS. There's no such a thing.
Okay, but I mean, there's no finding against Mantashe. He denies making the confession. There's excuse me, I'm sorry, Dr. Ndlozi, if I can just finish the question. There's been detailed evidence that's been published. You know where it's been published, around VBS Bank, around the credit cards that seem to have followed Floyd Shivambu and Mr. Malema around. I mean, isn't that strong evidence? If it's good for Gwede Mantashe to step down, shouldn't it be good for Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu?
No, there's no such evidence. I disagree completely that there are inferences. There's no evidence. I've never come across any evidence that showed that the money that is being used or that the President and the Deputy President of the EFF live by is money that is being stolen from VBS, number one. But number two, I'm saying there's no report that has made such a finding anywhere that there was money stolen from VBS. If Brian had stolen money from VBS, I can tell you now, the authorities would have already pressed criminal charges against him. That's number one. So you must go read the Terry Mudau report which deals with what happened at VBS. There are no allegations of stealing, even against Brian Chivambu. So this is a completely irrelevant case, complex enough. Now, we're dealing here with a man who has confessed on the Sunday Times, and after realizing what the confession, his implications are, he's now capitulating. And we're making two calls. The first call is Sunday World must release recordings, which we believe that they are there, number one. Number two, we also are calling on Mantashe to release the names of the journalists that he says were being paid. But together with that, he must step down. Because,
all right, Dr. Ndlozi, there's the VBS case, there's also the on-point engineering case in which the National Prosecuting Authority might well reinstitute charges against Mr. Malema. If that is the case, should he step down? If he's found guilty in that case, should he step down?
I see that, Stephen, on many occasions, I've spent a lot of airtime on several shows, including this show, including on the SABC in general, speaking to the topics about the EFF leadership in relation to many corruption charges. Today's call is made to speak about Mantashe. We have spent now 60% of the time talking about the EFF leadership, not Mr. Mantashe. I can see what you are doing, and it won't work. Our call is on Mantashe. We've spent a lot of time canvassing the grounds that you want to confess now, and I've already answered it.
So just to be clear, Dr. Ndlozi, you're suggesting that you should tell the SABC what to concentrate on. It should be up to you, not up to us.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you what I think about the direction of the interview. I've got an opinion and I'm making it. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what my opinion is about the direction of this interview. I'm very aware of what its intentions are, and I'm exposing it for what it is. What you do after that is up to you. But you can't tell me what to say. You can't tell me how not to criticize what you are doing. I have been called. The intention of the call was made very clear. And I've been answering your questions in relation to the EFF leadership. But I'm saying that ground has been canvassed on many times before. So you are taking this opportunity to divert what the call is about, to speak not about Mantashe, not about the bribing of journalists, not about the fact that our newsrooms are infiltrated and that there is actually a case in point that we are all supposed to focus on. No, the direction must change because you've got other intentions other than what's on the table.
Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, do appreciate the benefit of your opinion tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Ndlozi is the national spokesperson for the Economic Freedom Fighters.